ladies and Mentalgen. We're back with some streamer news. As Joshua Riedel says, let's go! Indeed. Let me make sure my windows are lined up here. Okay, Brad Pitts. Welcome back to Streamer News. Today we have quite a few topics to discuss. We have some stuff I'm going to get pretty mad about, so just warning towards the end of the stream, I'm probably going to get pretty heated about a couple topics that we have to discuss. We have a lot of Twitch news coming up. We have some Mixer discussions to elaborate on the Mixer saga that's been spanning basically the entire time I've been doing Streamer News. And we've got a couple little extra side notes that I may throw in should we have extra time. We've also got a new sponsor for today's episode of Streamer News, and that is owned. eposvox.gg/OWN3D. I'll have a sponsor spot later, just letting you know. Before we get started, I did want to go ahead and mention, I should have actually pulled this up ahead of time. I put up a couple streamer-related videos that I want to make sure that literally everybody who is interested in these streamer news topics knows about. And so I wanted to go ahead and mention them, here on the stream as well. And that includes, if I pull up my channel page here, you can sort of see them. I need to pull this up in incognito. Hang on. There we go. Got it. All right. So if I switch over here,
right through.
I posted a lot of streaming related videos recently in regards to the Stream Guide series and things like that. Most notably, I posted a video on how to stream in 4K, which is what I do for the Streamer News series, and OBS's GPU prioritization issues, where your frame rate in OBS fluctuates when your game uses too much of your graphics card. That has been fixed, or at least is being fixed, and you can try it out for yourself, and it may work. It's worked for just about everybody. Go check it out. It's a massive update. Not enough people know about just yet. I posted a long 40-minute talk with Wendell about all the nuances in how many threads or CPU cores you need for live streaming or content creation. Ryzen versus Threadripper versus Intel X299, things like that. Posted a mic review, a review of the wonderful Elgato HD60S Plus, of course. And now we're here with Streamer News. Let's jump in. I don't know where my Stream Deck buttons went. It's been too long. That did nothing. Thanks, Stream Deck, for not working. Stream Deck. Yep, Stream Deck's broken. Cool! I also, before we got started, I did want to mention my buddy IceOrb, and that's at streamerlinks.com/IceOrb, is doing a charity event. A charity 24-hour live stream for Extra Life over at streamerlinks.com/IceOrb. It starts November 1st, so next weekend he'll be streaming a metric crap ton of games, some co-op stuff with some buddies. I may even drop by and play some of the games with them. It's going to be a good time, raise some money for some kids. They even have some giveaway things for the donators and things like that. Go check it out, and we're going to get into the news.
Right through.
You can see here information about his Extra Life campaign, along with his social profiles and things like that. Streamer Links is a pretty cool platform, by the way. I'll be covering that in a video soon, so get subscribed so you don't miss that. First up, we are going to talk about some Twitch-related news specifically. There have been a lot of Twitch updates, yet again, since the last Streamer News. Specifically, they have been cleaning up some older features. So, chat rooms, a feature that basically nobody knew about or used, which were, you had your stream chat and your direct messages, but you also had individual chat rooms where you could set up like a group of friends or a group of users on a specific channel. It was very, not super amazingly implemented, but I saw its potential, but I don't think it was implemented in the best possible way, and it wasn't really like made available in the easiest of ways either. And so they're discontinuing that after October 30th. So you have 5 more days to use chat rooms, and they're gone. And apparently there is some workaround where if you ban someone in your chat rooms, they can't be gifted a sub to your channel. So people have been using that to like troll if they don't want specific people to have gifted subs on their channel. Up to you, I guess. They're disabling comments on VODs, on actual uploaded videos and stream VOD, or at least stream VODs. I don't know if it's uploaded videos, because Twitch refers to them as the same thing. After November 12th, And then they are getting rid of premieres. Premieres was a feature that Twitch implemented, and then YouTube implemented, and then Facebook implemented, and then I believe there's another platform that implemented it. Premieres are a feature where when you upload your video, it actually schedules it to be published as if it was a live stream. So it lets people know in advance so that they can, add a reminder and tune in real time. And then you watch through the first viewing of the video in real time as if it was a live stream. And then you could chat with your viewers while you're doing it. Like I said, YouTube has it now, Facebook has it, things like that. It wasn't the most widely appreciated feature, I know, especially early on, and this still happens on YouTube all the time. I've done a few YouTube premieres. People get confused as what the heck is going on. They see the video and they're like, why can't I watch the video? And then when it is playing, they're like, this is a weird live stream, it's an edited video, what the heck's going on? And they can't rewind. If they show up late, they can't start back at the beginning of the video. It was really weird. And despite the fact that other platforms were very quick to adopt the feature themselves, Twitch is just getting rid of them. November 12th, they were getting rid of them, and they are moving all past premieres to the normal uploads category. As far as I can tell, you can still upload normal videos. They did eventually add in the feature, which I still use on Twitch, where you could just upload a video and publish without premiering, which is what I ended up doing, because otherwise my followers just kept getting mad, basically. So you can still upload videos to Twitch, but they are getting rid of that feature. They're also implementing chat features with your own, it's basically like an auto mod. You can set up filters for chat to automatically filter out specific types of language. So you see here discrimination, sexually explicit language, hostility, profanity, and you get to choose which of these are done. So if you're fine with people using profanity in your chat, but you don't want them using maybe some of this other stuff, you have those tools available to you. More moderation tools are always a good thing. I will always be in support of, and this makes it just a lot easier on creators and their mod teams to have some of it done kind of automatically. There's always going to be a little bit of argument or controversy over, what language ends up getting detected for the kind of like automatic filtering that they will be doing here. But I think this is a really good idea. And actually, one of the other things I had on the show doc for today was the Twitch CEO, Emmett Shear, actually sat down and had an interview about introducing more moderation tools in the first place, and how moderation they see as being extremely important to building communities. That Twitch actually used to maintain a stance that it should just be a Wild West, and that, people should be able to do whatever they wanted, and instead they have discovered that communities actually thrive significantly better if moderation is kind of done well. And, I've been advocating for this for a long time, so I'm pretty excited. Lots of updates to Twitch. I just got a long list here. We're just going to go through them as quickly as possible. This should be the next one. Yeah, here we go. Juggling my tabs here. Streamers can now disable pre-roll ads on their streams, because that's been a big annoyance on live streams, is whenever you first tune into the stream, Twitch ends up showing you like a super short, like 2-second clip of the stream before the ad actually starts playing, and then you're forced to watch an unskippable pre-roll ad before you join the stream, and you miss out on some of the action, and a lot of people aren't liking this. Well, at TwitchCon they announced, and we covered in the last Streamer News, that they are disabling ads on channels that aren't manually monetizing them entirely on the site. So that disables a lot of pre-roll ads, and they're rolling them out to affiliates. Well, now they are setting it up so that streamers can actually disable pre-roll ads themselves, just by running in-stream ads. So if I were to press a button right now and hit show an ad, then for the next 10 minutes, whenever new people showed up, a pre-roll wouldn't be shown. This is kind of a weird trade-off, but it actually does. 10 minutes to me feels like not a long enough time. It's 10 minutes for a 30-second ad or 20 minutes for a 60-second ad. So this does give streamers the opportunity to take a break, to be like, okay, I need to grab a nice drink here and take a breather, switch games in between lobbies, let's run an ad real quick, and then people joining in won't have an ad for a little bit. But in the context of a lengthy game stream, a 20-minute gap is honestly not that long. So I'm curious to see how the Twitch community will react to this, and whether or not they will utilize this. We shall see. Someone in the chat asked, streamers can disable them or partners can disable them? Well, ads are now only shown on channels that have control of ads, which will be affiliates and partners. So those are the people who have the ability to disable them. Streamers who aren't partnered or affiliated won't have ad rolls on their channel at all anymore. So, or pre-roll ads on their channel at all anymore. So that works. only you can just throw money at commuters to make them run faster. If only. Twitch also has recently updated. Well, that's not logged in. That's fine. Okay, that was supposed to be a help article. I don't know what's going on here. Welp. Okay, well, Twitch has updated. Let me try to click this again. Twitch? Hello? There we go. Twitch is having trouble. Twitch has recently updated some of their tools to combat view botting. I know a lot of people have been accusing channels of view botting, and there have been some weird situations where a channel just kind of suddenly rises to the top out of nowhere with a silent chat and things like that. And so they have been updating their tools to catch fake engagement, and they consider fake engagement follow for follow, lurk for lurk, or host for host. And which I do know some people who were making lurk for lurk bots, which basically, you know, would pull up like 50 streams at once, and you would be present in them, and then you get like a whole network of people that are pulling up all of these streams at once, and then you initially launch your game or your stream with like 50 viewers up front, which helps out a lot. Obviously, it is false engagement, so they are working to fight against that, and they have updated tools to catch follow botting and view botting and things like that. So this is always good. You never want people. This hurts not only like the integrity of the platform and the and the specific content creators, but it also hurts like CPMs and things like that. Because if there are, you know, enough advertisers that get word that so much of this engagement or viewership is fake, then they start lowering how much they're actually paying for views. And so catching all of this stuff helps everybody. Yeah, I'm using the Electro Voice RE320. I do not have the pod mic in at this point in time. Hope to review it soon, but I don't have it. But yeah, they put out some tweets about it. You know, there was some, we covered last week, there was a little bit of discussion about whether or not lurkers were counted as viewers, and they are. And you know, they're making it clear that people who are watching but not chatting, people who have the stream or browser tab muted, or maybe watching a handful of streams at one time, are still counted. This is an official public response this time. So, pretty cool. I'm gonna take a drink real quick myself. This would be where I rolled that 30 second ad for me to take a drink, except this ad is going to be for Sunkist, who is not sponsoring me yet. People tag at Sunkist Soda on Twitter. Lol. Anyway. Alrighty. Next up. Oh, actually, I already stated this. But.
Watch.
Oh, this is just this is the VOD. I will have it linked. I put all the links to all of my things that I talk about in the description of the stream whenever the stream is over. But I have a VOD from TwitchCon where they state that Squad Stream is rolling out to affiliates. So Twitch has this feature called Squad Stream, which Mixer actually does significantly better. Mixer's co-streaming tools are phenomenal. Twitch's are not so much. But Twitch is rolling out their own Squad Stream tool, which has been out for a little while, to affiliates as well. Previously, it was only limited to partners or big events. Later this year, affiliates are getting it as well, which is really cool. This also requires, and kind of brings up an interesting point, that in order to have Squad Stream, the channels need transcoding, and affiliates are not guaranteed transcoding. And so they have followed that up with that most affiliates get transcoding when they have it enabled on their stream. However, you know, not everybody. And so they are looking to expand that transcoding availability specifically by the end of the year. And they have always said, yeah, we're looking to expand transcoding or expand our options or whatever. This is the first time they've gave like a specific time frame. It's obviously not a date and time. They haven't said specifics about it, but they have said by the end of the year, they're aiming to expand their transcoding, which is very important. Check out your boy Technical Gaming over on Mixer to see some great Squad streams. You're not wrong. Squad stream has improved recently. Okay. Good to know. We will have to check it out again in a future episode. So I covered that. Oh yeah. And then of course, over the past week, we had Fortnite's major black hole event, where they deleted all of Fortnite and the world cheered and went back to work. Kidding. Um, but they did do the transition from Chapter 1, which was never originally stated, I don't think, but basically just a relaunch of Fortnite as Chapter 2. Keep in mind, this game is still considered in early access. I think they need to remove that. It is no longer in beta. They have been accepting money for their economy. That means that the game is not in early access anymore. The game is released, and it is way past the early access point. But on October 13th, all of Fortnite, including even just the start menu of the game, got sucked into a black hole, and this brought in just so many viewers. So many viewers. We're looking at a record on Twitch of 1.7 million concurrent viewers. That is a record for concurrent viewers in a single game. 1.7 million. On Twitter, they had 1.4 concurrent million views on the live streams, because people do stream on Twitter. And then they had 42.8 million views total, which is just bonkers. And then YouTube had 4.3 concurrent million viewers on this freaking event. That is a total of like 7 or more million concurrent viewers at one time for one game event. For all that I have to joke about Fortnite, for all of the ability that I have, yes, this is a live video, not video playback, for all of the ability that I have to not play well in Fortnite, to, you know, I can't get past the first 10 minutes of a match, despite the fact that I play plenty of other Battle Royale games and shooters. You can't argue with the numbers that this game pulls in. That is insane. In a non-Fortnite related video, Twitch is testing out watch parties. People have been trying to do this forever. Obviously, watch parties are when you watch like a movie or a TV show or something with a group of friends or your live stream, and you chat about it, and you all watch it at the same time. Pretty cool concept, but obviously there is a major copyright concern when it comes to this. Well, since Twitch is owned by Amazon, they're finally putting their heads together and partnering with Prime Video to introduce watch parties with Prime Video integration, so that you can watch Amazon Prime movies and shows with your followers, as long as they also have a Prime subscription. Now, that is important. The viewers also need to have... And that response was recorded. Okay, Digital Boundaries. Okay, anyway. That is important to note, that your viewers need to have Amazon Prime subscriptions as well. You can't stream to viewers that don't have it. And this is how they're getting around some of the copyright stuff. Is basically, everybody could just go queue up the movie on their own Amazon Prime subscription on their own. This, you know, gets around that. Now, obviously, Amazon Prime is pretty ubiquitous, for better or worse Skynet concerns in mind. A lot of people have it, and so you're at least going to be able to make like sub-only or follower-only streams where you're watching those movies. And this is a win-win for Amazon as well, because while they have to deal with some of the issues of streaming those movies to multiple people, since they have them all being already paid Amazon Prime subscribers, you're good to go. And this will just prompt more people to subscribe to Amazon Prime, because they're like, oh, my favorite streamer's watching this movie. I want to see that movie and enjoy it with my favorite streamer while enjoying what they have to say about it, their jokes, joining in the chat, participating. That whole fear of missing out and wanting to participate in this group event, that will drive people to subscribe to Amazon Prime just to participate in this. And so I've never done a watch party. I've never entirely seen it as amazing, but sounds, you know, it seems fun, and the fact that they're implementing this is pretty cool. No need to cut and retake videos. Yeah, man, I do a lot of my stuff in one take. There are some videos, like one I just got done editing where, like, I didn't get enough sleep the night before and I just kind of fumble through everything. But for the most part, I just record it and go. All right, second to last bit of Twitch specific news. That is watch parties again. Twitch hires former Zynga exec Dog Scott? No need to retake videos, I said. Doug Scott, not Dog Scott, as chief marketing officer. So Zynga is the company that was behind super viral, like, easy games on Facebook and mobile, like Farmville and things like that. Some of the earliest clicker games that really, like, got everyone addicted and turned into what mobile attention, you know, economy games are these days. They were super big in the monetization spot. Like, everyone knew that they knew what they were doing. So for Twitch to hire this guy from Zynga, who also worked at a couple other companies, Matrix and advisor to YouTube Music, to work on Twitch's marketing when it's trying to stretch beyond its roots, this article says, this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna see some dog's got my new dog. We're gonna see some ways that Twitch might be trying to implement more monetizable or otherwise like promotional features that might be a little bit controversial, but might, play into that whole gamification of everything anyway. We've already seen Twitch kind of introduce some of the more micro minigame stuff, microtransaction-y stuff, like the Sparks from Mixer. They immediately introduced channel points and things like that. So we've already seen some of that come forth. I just really hope we don't see Twitch look like Mixer. Like, my biggest issue between Mixer and Twitch at the moment is I click on Twitch, and I know I'm watching a game stream, and I'm here for that, and that is where my focus is. I click on a Mixer stream, and my attention is diverted all over the place. I've got 4 different currencies to keep up with. There's sometimes, like, icons falling down the whole screen like it's MySpace. There's, like, leaderboards below streams that make the stream really small, and there's stickers going everywhere in chat, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm losing my mind. And on Twitch, I just watch a dude play a video game or a girl play a video game. That's it. It's easy. And so I don't want to see Twitch turn into this ADHD MySpace ridden thing just for the sake of making a few bucks. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, the dude knows what he's doing. He's obviously, he's not just going to show up and ruin the site on his own. He will have to get approval for whatever he does and work with people, and they'll beta test things and try to work it out. So, I'm going to have faith. I don't just expect it to be all doom and gloom. I just worry whenever people bring, this kind of stuff in. One more Twitch topic, and this is not actually a new one, but it's one that I have not come across just yet. And I wanted to share with you guys, because in a previous episode of Streamer Newz, we talked about AV1, which is an open source, incredibly high quality and bitrate efficient video codec that still needs a little bit of work before it takes full adoption, but Twitch has actually been investing heavily into VP9 and AV1 development so that they can reduce their bandwidth costs for their live streams. And so this is an interview with one of the video engineers on Twitch, and there is a full transcribed copy down here, but it is a video interview, where he explains, what they are looking to work with regards to their video encoding. Because mainly at the moment, everything on Twitch is H.264 based. X264, NVENC H.264. Us streamers send H.264 to Twitch. They encode it, or, they pass the source stream along, but then they transcode the different quality tiers with X264 and send it back out. They have already been working heavily to make what they call their head content, which is basically their top tier streamers and their big events, the things that get the most traffic. They're working to transcode that to VP9 so that there's no quality loss for the viewer, but there's less bits required for Twitch so that bandwidth is reduced, because bandwidth, especially on the level of Twitch, has to be just absurdly expensive. Like, no other company could probably compete if they just had all of, Twitch's bandwidth requirements day one. Them Amazon bucks are going a long way. But they've also been investing in AV1, which is another codec, but isn't fully available yet. And their goal initially is to just have those head content pieces, which again are their biggest streams, their most popular events, the things that are getting the most viewers. Their goal is by 2024 or 2025, and they would love for it to be sooner, but they're at the beck and call of that codec getting developed and adopted fast enough. Their goal is to have those streams be transcoded to AV1 to save even significantly more on bandwidth without the viewer knowing any difference, which is what you want. Whenever you have these kinds of transcoder changes, you never want a viewer to notice a difference in the pipeline. You want the viewer to just feel like everything's fine, maybe notice it's a little better, but otherwise be fine, and Twitch just to be better off for it. And that is what their goal is here. And then their goal past that point is to hope that they reach a point where streamers can send that in as well. And they also specifically note that already VP9, if they're using VP9 with dedicated hardware encoders, require 25% lower data rates for the exact same quality, which is insane. Like, that's millions and millions of dollars in savings for Twitch alone, on top of being easier for viewers, other than devices like certain older mobile devices or something that can't, play back or decode the VP9 footage, which as that progresses, technology will catch up, and most modern graphics cards have decoders for VP9 anyway. But That will also mean that viewers don't have to stream as high quality bitrate back to themselves to see the stream, which is freaking awesome. Now that's just for VP9. AV1's going to be even lower. Like I want to project and say that it might be 50%, but I could be mistaken. I don't know that for certain. But that is insane. Yeah, they say the roadmap that they want to get to for VP9 is 35%, but it's currently 25%. I am super stoked for this future. It is, of course, by their estimate, like 5 or 6 years away. We don't know what any of this landscape will look like in 6 years. It's barely been around for 6 years, but I can remain optimistic because AV1 just looks freaking phenomenal. Someone had a question in chat. I'm going to go ahead and switch over and answer as we transition to a new segment here. Asking if YouTube has VP9. Yes, YouTube for their videos. I actually don't know for live streams. I can pull this up here and check, or I might be able to. Stats for nerds. No. So this live stream is playing in, at least for my preview copy, in AVC. What if I kick it up to... Yeah, I can only view it in 360. Okay, so the live stream for me is only playing in AVC. But for YouTube videos, they do have VP9. That is the most common playback that you will see, especially for anything over 1080p is playing back in VP9. And then any popular video in 1080p or lower formats is going to be transcoded to VP9, which in some cases, depending on the popularity of the video, could result in lower quality, but in most cases results in higher quality for the same bitrate and just helps YouTube save on bandwidth. Doesn't really necessarily, like, people have compared the same 1080p video at AVC versus VP9. There's not usually a huge significant difference. YouTube does also actually have AV1 videos available to play back. However, they are not set up in a way to be a higher quality. Let me see if I can find this here.
Oh, swoop, right through.
So YouTube released a playlist last year for the AV1 beta launch. So if you go to the YouTube Labs, which is in the footer of YouTube's page, you can actually enable AV1 playback for videos for those that support it. And obviously, if your hardware can't keep up, then it's going to be really laggy and bad. This is why it's in beta. But they have a playlist of a bunch of different videos, including the Halo Infinite trailer, a John Oliver episode, a few music videos, just like a whole bunch of random stuff that are in, you know, fairly high quality that are already available in AV1 for you to play back. In Chrome 70 or Firefox 63 or newer for either of those. So if you want to see it for yourself, you can see it. But again, it's not gonna, you're not necessarily gonna notice a increase in quality. It's from this specifically because YouTube and other streaming platforms' goals are not to get higher quality out of it. That's what I want. I want to see higher quality. But YouTube's goals and streaming platforms' goals would be to reduce bandwidth while maintaining what they already consider an acceptable level of quality. I hope that makes sense. Ryzen Chaos Gaming just got the Q2U on my recommendation. Congrats. Everyone is saying YouTube does VP9 MKV for all uploads. Well, yeah, they do both, but the VP9 isn't always available until, like, on channels that don't have a whole lot of viewership, it may take months before you see a VP9 copy of their video. It'll be AVC first, and in some cases, it just takes a little bit longer to get the VP9 copy out. But people are saying the stream itself is VP9, so it's probably just the AVC 360p quality that the preview was giving me that was only AVC. So we are going to run one of our ad spots here for a second while I get ready for us to do our Epos box unboxing before we get to the Mixer-related topics of today's stream. I'm going to go ahead and run the ad spot from our new sponsor, who I am super stoked to share with you guys. They are making a really awesome series called Stream Critique, where I review and give feedback, practical feedback that doesn't require buying new gear or upgrading your hardware, in most cases, on your all's live streams. You submit them to me, and then I review them. Gets you a little bit of promotion as well, but give feedback that I think will teach some really valuable lessons about the actual practical applications of live streaming and how to get the most out of the gear and settings you already have. And this is, you know, a big different perspective from all of the, like, microphone reviews and processor benchmarking and things like that I think you guys are really going to like. It's launching on Monday, so that will be October 29th, I believe is Monday, or is that the 28th? Yeah, October 28th is the Monday, so Monday, October 28th, we'll be launching. I am super stoked. Floatplane and Patreon and channel members, subscribers, all get early access to it already. It's already up, but for everybody else, you will see it on Monday. This new sponsor is making that happen.
To you by Owned. Owned provides everything you need to build your streaming brand, from individual stream assets and overlays to full revamp packages covering not just your stream, but your YouTube channel and social media as well, custom avatars, and more. They can even set you up with a full website for your brand with matching graphics, web hosting, setup, a free subdomain, and regular backups. Heck, they can even provide desktop wallpapers to match your brand so that your branding whenever your screen is shown is always on point as well. Check out Owned over at eposvox.gg/OWN3D or the link in the video description, and check out their Halloween sale to save any more. Thanks to Owned for sponsoring Streamer Newz.
Had a couple questions here. Yes, this is a live stream, not a pre-recorded video. When will you do the updated AMD 5700 coverage and things like that? I don't actually have access to AMD Navi GPUs at the moment. I can't really justify the cost for an update video. My goal was that AMD would just send me new GPUs when the stuff was fixed. Like, why would they not want me to tell them that it was fixed? Supposedly the encoder in OBS and FFmpeg are better as well. But they aren't sending me any graphics cards at the moment, and so I literally do not have the hardware to test. So at the moment, I got nothing for you. Sorry. Anyway, we are jumping to the unboxing segment of this video. I have packages sent to my home and my P.O. box that I want to check out. We don't have any that are from fans, viewers, you guys today. If you want to send anything over, that is P.O. Box 459, Jeffersonville, Indiana, zip code 47131. It's also in the description of every single video, but I did want to open up and share some of the upcoming projects and things related to these that we have going on. This is just a recurring segment we have on the channel here. So this is nothing new or special to some of you, but this is a dummy battery for a camera. And I wanted to show this and talk about it for a minute because I keep referencing these and people don't actually know what it is. So many of these Chinese knockoff products come with microfiber cloths for seemingly no reason. So I ordered a new camera that is coming in that I will be reviewing and showing it in use as a webcam and using it for a new setup, specifically for that Streamer Newz series actually, the Sony a6400. Fantastic camera, does 4K, super 35mm sensor or APS-C, got the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens with it, but in order to use it as a webcam, I need a dummy battery. So this is a device, that's actually just a plug adapter, that takes this fake battery that has the battery connection that goes in the camera, sticks a wire out of it, and then adapts a wire to a wall plug so you can run it off wall power. A lot of these Sony cameras do have USB. Whee! Oh, we got a new donation. Hello. From Hamad. $1.69. Your videos saved me so much. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. But yeah, so a lot of the Sony cameras come with USB plugs, but they can't actually be powered off of them. They still need to be powered from the battery. And so this turns the battery into wall power and is required if you're going to use a camera as a webcam, which I am covering very thoroughly in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. I am actually super stoked. We partnered with Elgato for it. I'm super stoked for that. But that is what that is, and they are super cheap. You got to get them specific to your camera or your camera's battery type, and you can actually you can just buy the power supply itself or use one if you have it, and then just buy the actual battery to plug adapter on your own. But the whole package is like $20 at most of the time, so it's pretty reasonable. They're all over Amazon. You just like I said, just got to search for it per your camera. What this also does is avoids the overheating issues in the Sony cameras. The Sony mirrorless cameras have a long-running history of overheating when they're being used for recording, especially in 4K. I have behind me, way back there, I've shown the Sony a5100, and then like I said, I'm picking up the 6400. But what overheats in these cameras is actually the SD card writer and the battery together. Those two overheat the camera. So the a6400 running off a dummy battery power, running over HDMI, never actually overheats. €5 super chat from Romulino. Thank you for all the help. Thank you for all the super chats. I swear I turned that alert volume down on Streamlabs, so that way we didn't get spammed like we have in previous streams. Still loud. That's weird. But yeah, the a5100 that I have back there, if I'm recording to the SD card with a battery, actually even without a battery, just the SD card directly, it overheats after like an hour of continuous recording. Over just the dummy battery and HDMI, I've left it on for entire weeks at a time, and it's never turned off. That's the big thing with the Sony cameras. It's the SD card writer and sometimes the battery. remove those two elements, send it over an HDMI feed, and use a fake battery, doesn't overheat anymore. Problem solved, especially for webcams. People have lots of these concerns about them, but yeah. Sometimes Coalition says his has overheated, so you can get a tiny USB fan and you'll be good, but again, I've left mine on an entire weekend, an entire week. I left it on when I went to LTX. Never had any issues, only when I'm writing to the SD card, or when you have an SD card in it. If you're using it over HDMI and don't plan on recording in it, still take the SD card out just so you can avoid the issue entirely. I'm gonna get a drink here before we open up the next box. I'm gonna go ahead and run the second ad spot while I get a drink and get ready, and then we will jump into the topics after we open 2 more boxes. Videos for any length of time, you've probably heard about TubeBuddy, or at least I'd think so, but apparently 70% of my watch time comes from viewers who aren't subscribed. So, this is for you. First, well, get subscribed. Maybe enable notifications. Come on now. Second, check out TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is an incredible toolkit to help you manage your YouTube channel and improve your productivity and your video's performance quite easily. You can update videos in bulk, optimize your SEO, syndicate to social media, back up your metadata, and more, all with a simple browser extension. Head to eposvox.com/TubeBuddy to learn more and download it for free. They cover educational topics for YouTubers on their YouTube channel, and I cover YouTube news on their blog as well. That's eposvox.com/TubeBuddy to download it for free, but do subscribe first.
Mic Wireless can boldly go where no mic has gone before.
Okay, I was supposed to be rolling my new mod mic ad there, and I didn't swap it out. So, y'all got a TubeBuddy ad. Congrats. Alright, we got another box here. I don't actually know what this is, but we are checking it out together. If I can get it cut open without slicing myself here. Very awkward to, like, hold this up to the camera. Whee! That should be good enough. Thank you for the $5, Hamad. Sorry for interrupting, but I'm happy to see you live. Not gonna interrupt now. I won't complain about interrupting if you're giving me money. Real talk. Much appreciated. And the alert for the donation is obviously much less obnoxious than the fancy retro one, just because I didn't have another sound effect for it. Can't get this box open. And this is the good time to interrupt, because this is the in-between topics time. What do we got here? Ooh, I actually had some requests for this. This is the Sampson satellite USB microphone. It is a USB/iOS broadcast microphone with software. Dumb name. Broadcast quality, USB, 24-bit, 96 kilohertz, 3 selectable patterns. Where have I heard this before? I'm assuming it's a condenser, which is whatever. I can't test it on iOS because I don't have any modern iOS devices, but I had a couple requests to review this, and Sampson actually sent it over on their own, so I'll be checking it out. See if it's worth anything. I can already tell you it doesn't look like you can mount it on an arm, so that's going to be immediate points off, but I'll wait till the full review to give it a fair shot. And lastly, but not leastly, oh, we got 2 super chats coming in. Guide us to where we can learn to stream like you, please. My entire channel. Plus, you know, I did post a video about how to stream in 4K specifically. You can check that out on the channel. My whole channel is dedicated to teaching you how to stream like me. Don't you guys listen to me? Holy crap, the super chats. Thank you. That was from Adam. Hey, I'm Adam. Nice. Adam Ore. And Evil Notion, yay interruptions. We got one from Coalition Gaming as a donation. With no text. Thank you, dude. Alright, so this last package is actually an Etsy order that I ordered. And if you can see what's inside of it, you might have a slight hint as to what the heck this is. So, for extra packaging padding, we have VHS tape, magnetic tape from a VHS, which I will definitely use as set dressing because, oh my god, I don't have to feel bad about destroying a tape myself. And then I pull out the package itself, and it's got a bow made out of VHS tape. These people know how I like to live. a package wrapped in a bow made out of VHS tape. We're already off to a good start. But that's not all. It's not all. We have 2 here. I'm gonna set them down before I show you, because I am so stupidly excited for these. I mean, just search the channel for the topics you want to know, Adam, right? I can't just make a video how to stream like Epos Fox, because I'm not even that great of a streamer. But I have every topic pretty much you want to know. So we have a VHS tape here of Jurassic Park. And we have a very decorative one here of Kill Bill. But you notice, there's a little cable hanging off of that. What's going on with that? I don't know where my battery bank... Here it is. Let me pull out my battery bank here. Plug this bad boy in. I have RGB lamps made out of VHS tapes. I know how ridiculously stupid this probably seems to some people. There's Jurassic Park. These are completely addressable. They have remotes and everything. I can just customize the color. Actually, that one's changing colors. But I have VHS lamps. And I am just so happy for it. It is so perfect for my theme and stuff. And these are going to show up in videos and in my set in the retro room and all sorts of stuff. Freaking epic, dude. I will actually grab the Etsy link for that real quick. Because I think people deserve to actually have this. Yeah, it owns. It's freaking awesome. Where's the stuff I ordered? Come on, Etsy. Purchases and reviews. There we go. I'll just link the Kill Bill one specifically, and you all can get the rest from there. Not sponsored or anything, obviously. I paid my own money for it. They're not super cheap, and they ship from the UK. And obviously, you could make your own for relatively easily and cheaply. But I don't have the time for that. And I just want some cool shit to display. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that on stream. I just want some cool stuff to display in the background of videos. All right, let's get to some real topics.
On you just to take me over, baby, take me over the edge. I've been waiting on you just to take me over, baby, take me over the edge. I've been waiting on you just to take me over, baby, take me over the edge. I've been waiting on you just to take me over, baby, take me over the edge, over the edge.
All right, sorry about that. So, real quick addressing a question here. If you compare the encoder from a GTX 1000 series to the RTX, or 10 series to the RTX series, is it worth the upgrade? Yes. Like, the upgrade is fairly, it's significant. It depends on your priorities, whether or not you actually want to upgrade your GPU just for the encoder. Like, if you're purely relying on GPU encoder, then yeah, it's worth it, but, eh. The 10 series is equivalent to X264 very fast. The RTX series, the 20 series, and the 1660 and 1660 Ti are equivalent to faster medium. So it is a significant jump in quality, especially if you're at a lower bitrate. So jumping into mixer-related topics here, I did promise some pretty significant mixer topics. We're going to start with an easy one. Right through. Mixer is introducing what they call Mixer Academy, which is basically a learning resource, kind of like YouTube's Creator Academy, that can help get you up and running with live streaming, how to live stream, how to use their site, how to, get going and build your streaming career. I do wish websites would consult me on these things. I would love to participate. I'm building streaming education resources and content creation education resources. I'd love to be a part of projects like this. I'd love to host some of the stuff and be the face for one of them or something. So whatever. But it is really cool to see, obviously, for streamers with, a decent level of experience. This won't be anything too revolutionary or new or anything. It'll be stuff that you already know. But this is super important. So I'm gonna talk about why this is important after we talk about the next topic, because they are directly tied into each other. If we come over here to the next one, the Mixer community grows. Welcome at Shroud.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Making moves. So Shroud has moved and already done his first stream from Twitch to Mixer. And unlike another major streamer who made their shift from Twitch to Mixer, he just announced it, went and did it, and was done. No drama, no craziness, nothing. He just did it. Now, there are rumors and speculation about how much money he was given, and honestly, most of the rumors are that he was paid more than Ninja. But this is interesting to see for a couple reasons. One, because it seemed like Shroud actually kind of loved Twitch. I don't know his personal opinions. I didn't watch him a ton, but every time I did watch him, and some of my close friends who watch him regularly, he was kind of like the personification of Twitch culture, but like the positive side of it. The dude's a really great dude. He's always been like a positive force for Twitch versus other popular streamers that are super toxic and get very ragey and do a lot of weird stuff. He's always been just kind of a chill, cool dude, even if he's not, the most entertaining personality at all times. And so, and he also, he's the streamer people watch that then turn around and use Twitch emotes IRL, like smile and things like that. Like, he's the kind of guy that inspires people to start integrating Twitch memes and culture into their real life language and etiquette. And it just seems like he was very heavily involved in Twitch culture. Now, again, for the amount of money he was probably offered, it would be stupid not to go. If you get offered any significant sum of money of guaranteed revenue to go produce content somewhere else that doesn't just seem like it's going to end your career, probably a good idea. This dude, with what is estimated for him to have made, Shroud can just retire at any point. Ninja can just retire at any point. Both of them retired from their professional gaming careers to just kind of stream casually for indefinite future. And now both of them are making enough money that if their streaming career dies or if they just get bored of it, they never really have to work again a day in their life. Why would you not do that? Got no questions there. But there has been some debate coming back up about whether or not, as I kind of joked about in the last Streamer Newz episode, whether or not Mixer is failing, because after the Ninja move, they saw a significant bump, but their actual viewership was down. They increased their the number of streamers on their platform by 300%. All of the streamers followed Ninja over there, but not the viewers. Viewership was actually down by 10 million and isn't, scaling with the number of streamers. And that's a really big problem, because that means that the actual viewership per streamer is significantly lower than even on Twitch. And the whole argument that Twitch is too saturated, you need to go to another platform, it's actually still objectively easier to get viewers on Twitch than it is Mixer, relative to the ratios of people that are on it. So, that has been a discussion, and the question is, okay, so why are they doing this? So there's the obvious financial motivation behind bringing a major player on to then attract more viewers. Yes, Mixer's goal is to get more viewers on the platform, but I don't think it will be as short-sighted as people like to think, because yeah, they're not getting any more viewers in the moment, but if they build up a nice little collection of streamers that are super popular that are streaming over there, Shroud, Ninja, maybe Tim or Summit or Doc is next, or Ammunition maybe, one those kinds of people over to Mixer, this legitimizes Mixer. So they got their Ninja, they got, the initial burst of news, suddenly everybody knows what Mixer is who never have heard of it before, and this will further legitimize the platform, both in terms of viewers actually considering to go over there and in terms of companies wanting to invest in it, but also in up-and-coming streamers. Like, this is a long-term play. Ninja's deal is a 3-year deal, I believe. Shroud's is quoted, is estimated to be that Shroud's is estimated to be like a 5-year deal, which is significant. It's longer. That is a long time to be streaming. These are long-term plays. In the short term, they may not get a ton of viewership, no, but in the long term, they're going to keep legitimizing their platform as being a real place to stream and compete. And the up-and-coming streamers, they want those people choosing Mixer to launch on. They want the next Ninja or the next Shroud or the next Doc to start on Mixer and grow their path to success and stardom on Mixer. They want to be the Mixer megastar, because that's what all the headlines are quoting Shroud as being the Twitch megastar that moved to Mixer. They want Mixer megastars, stars that started on Mixer and blew up and became super popular, which further, roots Mixer into this field and things like that. I have a lot of controversial opinions as to whether or not certain video platforms should even compete with each other. I don't think it would be in anyone's best interest, very few companies' best interest, to actually try to just up and compete play for play with YouTube. Financially, name brand wise, it just doesn't make sense. It would make way more sense to keep doing alternate takes. Instagram video, Instagram TV, Twitter video, TikTok, these are all alternative video platforms that people pretend don't exist, but are doing super successful for themselves and are competing with YouTube. They're just doing a different format in a way that works for their infrastructure and workflow. I kind of feel the same way with streaming. It seemed like for a little bit, it didn't make sense to really try to be the next Twitch, because inherently what Twitch is, where it has come from, where it is going, all of that, you can't replicate that. You can provide a similar feature set, but that doesn't really make you a true competitor in the minds of people who grow really attached for these things. But Mixer's doing the work for it, and whether or not they take that and use that to amplify the Xbox brand or some other Microsoft brand even further has yet to be seen. But they're definitely playing the long game here, and while I do think it's kind of amusing to see, just purely basing this on the short-sighted LOL, they're not getting all the viewers, is maybe not the right take. And to the person saying search similar web and compare Twitch to Mixer, it's still way bigger. Yes, I covered that thoroughly in the last episode of Streamer Newz, and I just referenced that right now. Money aside, it seems like, okay. Cujo brings up a good point, which is another reason I was confused by Shroud's move. Ninja's wife/business manager mentioned that they were super frustrated with Twitch themselves, both Twitch's policies, their refusal to listen to what they wanted out of the platform, and the quote-unquote toxicity on the platform. We covered all of this last show. I think a lot of that is kind of dumb. It is time to time out Mr. ID Crafter. Jesus freaking Christ. Ninja had issues and conflicts with Twitch. We didn't see that from Shroud. He may be a bit more of a private person, didn't want to keep all of that going, publicly, but like I said, it seemed like he loved Twitch. He didn't have any of those kind of motivations. That being said, if he was quoted tens of millions or triple-digit millions of dollars to go move, then even if you love Twitch, still probably the right move. Holy crap, the chat spam is real today. You guys need to find something better to do with your lives. Moving on. So I'm going to talk about, my voice is getting sore here. We've been running for most of the duration of the show. I will take questions about the Mixer Shroud stuff if you guys have any more clarifications you want on my stance here. I'm going to talk about a couple easy topics because there is a big topic that I want to end on, and I might even cut out to a separate video that I'm going to get mad about. So we are going to talk about a couple little things here real quick. Firstly, OBS is working on releasing some fixes for macOS Catalina. The Catalina release of macOS dropped 32-bit support, which is breaking production applications all over the place. Not because the apps themselves are inherently 32-bit, but because lots of little helper programs and modules of it are 32-bit. And so, the Adobe Suite is supposedly not really working on Catalina right now. OBS is apparently having issues, and so OBS have released a work-in-progress, pseudo fix for you to try for yourself, and they're hoping the next release will actually have it. So that is available if you are running on Mac and wish to test it out. We got some more leaks. These are a little old now, but we got some more leaks about the upcoming Threadripper releases. These are all focused on the WTRX4 or TRX40, depending on who you ask, chipset, which is the more thread-oriented, you know, just performance aspect. I am personally waiting on the WRX8, which is supposed to be the workstation class of chipset and processors. I'm cool with only 24 cores. That is the most I need for my video production work, and I've actually benchmarked this using some epic processors that Window over at Level 1 Techs has, and I will have some coverage of this as I can. We talked about that in my how many cores do you need video. I don't need more cores on a processor. 24 cores, totally fine. What I need is the motherboard ecosystem. The epic motherboards that are currently available for Roam, which have like 9 PCIe slots plus the little extra slot up top for your network card and all of this stuff, and 4 NVMe slots and lots of breakout. That's what I need for my workstation. I don't need extra cores at this point, past, you know, that point. So I don't think the launch window Threadripper motherboards will really do what I want. And so I'm actually trying to hold off. I'm in the process of switching to the 3900X in the meantime, but I'm trying to hold off because it's a really dumb time to buy when this stuff hasn't come out yet. But I'm really hoping that we see, before too long, the workstation class of Threadripper stuff, because at this point, it feels like it'll be summer of next year before we see it. So I am trying to hold off on that, because if they don't, if the WRX, if the workstation class of processors doesn't live up to what I want, then I am going Epic. But Epic has some weird compatibility issues since it's not built for desktop that I would have to contend with, so I'm trying to go with Threadripper and hold off for that, but we will see in time. There's lots of decisions to be made here. And that is it for the easy topics. What is this last one? Yeah. So this is it for the easy topics. I'm going to take a drink super quick, and then I have a big rant to share with you that is going to get spicy. All right. Do you ever think Mixer will overtake YouTube in the near future? I don't think that's possible. Like, YouTube has more viewers than anything. Someone asked if I saw the Slobs update where you can record and stream 2 different scenes. Yes, we covered that in last week's episode of Streamer Newz. Go check that out.
Right through.
But there is another Streamlabs update that I wanted to share real quick. They have finally, 2 years later, introduced multi-track audio recording. So, woo. Better late than never. All right, so, serious topic time. Let me set the stage for you here, because I don't know that I have it. I'm just going to let you sit on this article, because it's easier. Actually, here we go. I'm going to let you sit on this while I talk about it. So, almost 2 weeks ago, there was a post to Reddit by someone who has no clue what they were talking about, detailing this conspiracy theory in which Nvidia, and in part Intel as well, has been buying out or paying off content creators to sway everything in Nvidia's favor. Now, this is nothing new in and of itself. People have been calling people like Jace 2 Cents Nvidia shills till the end of time. They've been calling Linus Tech Tips Nvidia shills. They've been calling everybody Nvidia shills, seemingly not understanding that Nvidia just owns most of the market share and releases most of the noteworthy graphics cards, and has for the past decade at this point. And so, of course, they get the most coverage. Has nothing to do with being paid off. And in fact, Nvidia's kind of stingy when it comes to their sponsorship stuff. They don't really do that in the first place, nevertheless under the table and shady. But they posted this Reddit post, at which point they got it banned from r/AMD and Nvidia separately, and so they posted it to r/PC Master Race, which is not a good place to be, detailing a new take on this conspiracy theory that Nvidia is paying off YouTubers to product place their boxes of their graphics cards in the background of their videos, specifically AMD videos, and to specifically compare worse AMD cards versus better Nvidia cards, and this whole intertwined conspiracy of AMD, Intel, and Nvidia to benefit Nvidia, and accusing YouTube channels of doing this stuff. And the number one way, if nothing else, if the fact that all of this just seems like utter bullshit, and you, oh, my frame rate's dropping there, that was weird. If for whatever reason you're not sure that this is just utter bullshit, at one point in this article, I'm trying to find it here, or article, in this post, I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but the quote that they gave is, "This isn't illegal, but it is dirty." This is illegal. This is extremely illegal. This is illegal in so many ways, where both the company could be fined millions of dollars, the content creator could be fined a metric boatload of dollars, regardless of what country they're really in. They would lose all credibility. They would be sacrificing their audience. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, no one would do that. Short-sighted for a sum of money that no one here is making. No one's driving their Nvidia Lambos to make this. This person is not a YouTuber. This person claims to run a major tech channel and have experience with all of this. This person has never worked with one of these companies. This person has never seen a product review agreement, a sponsorship agreement. They've never even read the goddamn FTC rules themselves. They have absolutely no idea what they were talking about. A lot of channels, Hardware Unboxed, myself, noticed it, called it out as being stupid, laughed at it, and moved on. Well, one news outlet, or at least, I don't know if I can call them a news outlet, at least an author by the name of BTARUNR over at Tech Power Up, decided to write an article treating this as truth. Now, this is the older version of the article, and I'm going to address the update in the first place, but right off the bat, the title, Nvidia influencing YouTube tech journalist product placements. First sentence, Nvidia is influencing YouTube-based influencers and journalists to minimize the impact of Navi by dictating product placements and telling them blah, blah, blah. They took this entire freaking Reddit post by someone who completely made it up with no evidence, no logic, no critical thinking, treated it as truth, and released it as if it's an expose from a whistleblower of truth. Everything that I learned in journalism school, everything that I learned about publishing something on the web, on a print media anywhere, has gone out the window with this post. There is no fact-checking, no verification of facts. There is no even consideration if this is a newsworthy topic. There's no getting multiple sources to confirm or discuss or give perspective on this topic. There's not even critical thinking applied to whether this even makes sense. They took this and they posted it as if it was real. And that's dangerous, destructive, and malicious. Not only that, and I don't have the tweet pulled up anymore because they deleted it, but hold on. I have the image from, I saved it on my desktop from Twitter. They went one step further, and they created this image of Gamers Nexus, one of Steve's AMD videos, pointing out that they are showing AMD graphics cards, but also have Nvidia graphics cards boxes in the background. This is quote-unquote not a coincidence and shows that they are being paid by Nvidia to shill for them. Ignoring all of the AMD hardware, up on that shelf, the 1990s graphics cards on the back shelf, anything else that is featured in their set, because their set is a workshop and to display the products that they cover. And then they use that in the tweet. In a culture, in a time when people only read headlines and the associated images with them, they used an edited video or edited screenshot of Gamers Nexus to then say that this is what's happening. And their original language, and they included it in the article too, in the original language, they said, this is an example of this happening. So, a couple things here. First of all, I'm pretty sure they made that image themselves, which is even more malicious than the article itself. Now, they could have gotten it from somewhere on Reddit, but it wasn't in the original post that I read. It's not in this copy of the post. There is no image links here. And they didn't give credit to whoever made the image, because why would they give credit to anything? And so as far as I'm concerned, this Tech Power Up writer made that image themselves. They photoshopped in those arrows to point out this stuff, to put Gamers Nexus as an example of this conspiracy theory. Then when Gamers Nexus reached out to them and called them out and said, they will seek legal action because that is lawsuit worthy, they then put in an edit, not a retraction, not a note at the top, not an editor's note, nothing. They put in an edit saying that they used the screenshot to illustrate what is being alleged by the whistleblower. Nowhere in this article does it say alleged. Nowhere does it say alleged. It says this is happening. Earlier in the article, we used a screenshot to illustrate what is being alleged. We made an error in judgment, and our intention was not to single out any YouTuber, or make the discussion about that YouTuber. That is impossible. There is no way that could have happened. So fast forward a little bit after enough obvious backlash has been made. Keep in mind, the entire time this is happening, before they even removed the image, the author has been in the comments defending the article to anyone applying criticism, telling them to just read the article and defending the stance. They eventually rewrote the article completely different. You know, look at these two articles. This is the exact same URL, the exact same page. I just didn't close this tab and open this one in a new one. Completely different article. Now it's saying allegedly. Now it's saying all this other stuff. Still doesn't point out the obvious flaws in logic here. And there is still no retraction issued. There's no retraction. There's no apology. There's no editor's note. Basic publication rules. You change something this major, especially when you make a mistake as an outlet, you run a massive freaking block that says, yo, we effed up. We need to, here's what changed and here's why. This person, be it the writer itself, the editor who was in charge and said it was fine to post, anyone involved in the chain of command here has zero business. They either have no experience whatsoever or they were being deliberately malicious. They have no business being in charge of, being in any control of any publication that gets in front of readers. Period. That simple. There are only two situations in which this could have happened. Either the writer and editor were being deliberately malicious. They saw this conspiracy theory and were like, yeah, we're going to take down YouTubers, especially this specific YouTuber, and we're just going to ruin their day. And they were being deliberately malicious. And that includes them being deliberately ignorant, which people say, oh, they're just being willfully ignorant. You can't be willfully ignorant about something that harms other people, other businesses, without being malicious. That in and of itself is malicious. This is an attack on either creators in general, on Nvidia, and by proxy Intel, or either they are that stupid, that inexperienced, and that oblivious to any form of reality involving this situation, that again, they have no business having this job. They need to be fired on the spot. Any real outlet worth its salt, worth its weight in gold, you would have just lost your job as a writer for a publication. There are so many systems in place here that you should never be in this position to have allowed this to happen. And everyone involved in that chain, including whoever actually hit the final publish, whoever gave this person permission to post the article, they have no business. So I want to talk about what's really going on here and not just attack Tech Power Up, because they deserve it. They need to just delete their website. I'm being stupid, aggressive, but nothing is acceptable about this. All credibility, both on the writer and the website, is completely just credibility's gone. Shot. There's good luck getting that back. Period. And this article, the edit, only further removes their credibility. Frankly, they lost more credibility with this edit of this article than they would have just leaving it alone, ironically enough. So I'm going to go back to the Tweaktown one because they point out how hilarious and disastrous it is. So I've worked with Nvidia, I've worked with major tech channels, I've worked with business contracts, I've consulted with channels, I've managed all of this, I'm very experienced in this field. I've also read the FTC guidelines. I know how sponsorships are supposed to work. I know how a lot of this is supposed to work. I can tell you with 100% guarantee that at no point in the past, I'll just say 5 years, like at no point in modern times is any company, especially as major and public as Nvidia or Intel, that is so heavily involved in the enthusiast press scene on YouTube and so on, at no point are they doing under the table deals for basic product placement, and especially not with channels like Gamers Nexus or Hardware Unboxed or anything like that have very harshly come out in criticism of Nvidia at major points. Like, they have both been super critical of Nvidia. At no point are any of those companies paying people money to secretly slide in their cards or to alter benchmarks that anyone can validate by checking multiple review sources. This does not happen. It is extremely illegal. Everyone involved would be punished severely. It would be fairly easy to catch by the FTC or the FCC, whichever one wants to manage it, since the FCC is not doing their jobs. There's a lot of weirdness there. It's already, YouTubers have already been caught and punished for this before. You would lose your audience. Like, at no point would this work out for anybody, and it's just not happening. On top of the fact that some of these companies do not pay a whole lot of money for sponsorship stuff at all in the first place. However, we are reaching, I think, a critical mass, a peak point, and I'm going to switch to just shedding here so you don't have to see the article at all, actually. I'm going to, I think we're reaching a point of critical mass, of just peak bubbling up and exploding point of this weird nuance of viewership that is skeptical and assuming the worst out of content creators and untrusting of influencers and influencer culture, that it is destroying a lot. It is destroying business relationships. It's destroying credibility of outlets. It's destroying rapport between creators and their audiences. And I think we need to reach a point where enough creators and outlets together and the companies themselves put their foot down and say enough is enough. This is not happening. You are making this up. This is completely unsubstantiated. It is time to stop. Or things will really kind of crumble. However, creators are also to blame in this, because I think there are a lot of viewers that are just skeptical of everything. And if you're positive of a product, even though you're also critical of a product, they're assuming you're being paid. I actually just had someone accuse me of being paid to promote the Elgato Camlink 4K in my review, even though I review every capture card in the world, and I certainly wasn't in that video or any video around that release. And same thing with a lot of things. This happens a lot because people just assume if you're talking about a product and that's what you do, that you're getting paid for it. And I think there were a small handful of creators that weren't talking about this before rules were commonplace and established on this that kind of ruined it for the rest of us. But there's just a lot of distrust. And I think a lot of it comes down to a lack of transparency. We have an entire generation of YouTubers that do not disclose a whole lot with regards to free review samples. They do disclose with sponsorships, and that's something all viewers need to know is clear. Unless you have a specific YouTuber, not an entire scene of YouTubers and an entire scene of companies, a specific YouTuber and a specific company that are violating the rules and doing this, everyone is disclosing when they are being paid to promote a product. The video is sponsored by, there's an ad spot, there's text on the screen, there's something in the description. If they're being overkill, there's hashtag sponsored in all caps in the title. There is always major disclosures when money is exchanging hands. That is a sponsorship. That is something that is being disclosed by virtually every channel at this point, other than specific instances. In the contracts, the specific companies require this because they can be sued too. They're not going to be liable for your mess ups. And the FTC requires it, YouTube requires it, creators require it, viewers insist on it. This stuff is being disclosed. The issue is that not everybody sees that, and people do feel a little untrustworthy because not everyone discloses free review units. I struggle with this a little bit myself, but I've always been heavily on board with this. But you watch channels like Linus Tech Tips, and I think Linus has talked about this before, but like, they virtually never, unless it's just like a side comment that they happen to mention, they don't really disclose when they're sent a product for review. It's kind of assumed, and that is what a lot of us work off of, is the basis that if we're reviewing all of this stuff, full time, it is assumed that, yeah, we're being sent this stuff for free, and at that point, it doesn't really bias in the way that viewers are worried about, and we'll talk about that in a second. It doesn't bias our perspective towards that product, because, for me with like capture cards, like here I have this capture card. Because I was sent it for free, I am not biased towards promoting this capture card over other capture cards. Why? Because I have entire buckets full of capture cards that I was sent for review. It is my job to critically and objectively review these capture cards and tell you which ones to buy. Virtually all of them, I have bought some myself. I've bought duplicates, I've bought some for friends, I've bought some that I need to review. Some of them I have bought, but for the most part, they're all either sent or bought for me. These are not things that make my life better. These are not things that put money in my bank. They don't put food on my table. They don't pay my bills. These are objects that take up space in my small apartment, that sit on my shelves, that I need to put in hours and hours and hours of work to make content on, and then pay taxes on to make videos for. Being sent this does not influence my opinion, because I'm sent all of them. And the same thing applies to every channel. And in fact, once you get to major media outlets, like something like Linus Tech Tips, they have enough chain and command that the person doing the review has no real clue what the relationship between the company and the product is. They have no clue whether it was, paid for or not. They have no clue any of that because they keep that barrier of writers not being influenced by that heavily in mind. It's called journalistic integrity. It's what I went to college for. It's pretty basic. But the problem is, as I stated, a lot of channels don't disclose that. And it becomes unclear, and they assume, oh, it's a major launch. Nvidia is chucking out all of the dollars and just paying for you to say that. When at most, the only bias that is really given here that is significant is the availability bias of I am covering this product because it is available to me right now, and thus I am able to talk about it. Which a smaller channel like mine is actually a lot more susceptible to. If I cover a graphics card or a camera or something that costs a significant amount of money that I am not buying for myself, there's a little bit of bias there in the fact that it is the only one that I am covering because it is the only one I have access to. Now, I try to mitigate this, such as with my Ryzen coverage. I drove like 400 miles back and forth between level 1 headquarters so that I could use all of his hardware for comparisons and use his benchmark data for comparisons to elaborate a more clear picture and not just be like, Ryzen's the best because it's all I got, because that's not a helpful review, and that is something young reviewers struggle with a lot. Thank you for the channel membership, by the way, Front Seat Racing. Hope you're having a great Friday. So that is the only kind of bias that really comes into play there, unless it's something that really does change your life or workflow. For example, I posted a video about my 4K streaming experiences recently and how you can learn to 4K stream, and I will have some other videos about 4.6K, 4K, and 8K video content creation, all of which I will state are sponsored by Nvidia. Nvidia has not paid me money for these videos. They're not even paying money for those videos, but they did send me a Titan RTX graphics card at my request for me to work on some issues with my video production workflow and to utilize them for this advanced level of content. That is a significant enough of an investment. It's like a $2,500 graphics card and something that is critical to my workflow that I then needed to disclose that as a sponsorship because it is so significant that I needed to say, hey, they're sponsoring me. Otherwise, if it's an RTX 2080 that goes on my shelf with my other graphics cards that I'm just using to test NVENC, or AMD graphics cards that I'm just using to test the AMD encoder, it's not influencing me. I don't need them. I don't want them. It is more work for me and more work for that. But what I do is I let the viewers know. Either in the description right next to the product link, so when they go to click on it, they know it right there. Thank you for the 50 SEK. I don't exactly know what currency that is, Front Seat Racing. Thank you for the $10 Castlemania Games. Oh yeah, Castlemania Games has sent out samples for me to review, and they specifically do not request favorable stuff, and they want honest stuff. And, I just link back to them as gratitude. But what I do that a lot of other channels don't do and are honestly required to do, so I don't know why they're not doing it because it's stupid, is to put in a disclosure that the product is sent for review. Whether you just put in a description template, YouTube gives you the option to put the same description on every video, where you say the product may have been sent free for review and you just leave it there, or you include, or you customize it per video. I usually, not always, because I don't forget, or I forget sometimes and I get sent a lot of stuff or it just doesn't work out. At some point in time, I usually try to put in a visual and audio disclosure. This is sent for review, whether or not the company has purchased sponsorships or ad spots on my channel before, and who gets to keep the product. Because sometimes I have to send it back, at which point it's on loan for review, but that definitely doesn't influence my perspective. Things like that. Channels need to work a lot better at disclosing this stuff clearly. A lot of people point to a channel, Lon Seidman, as kind of like the best example of this kind of stuff. So I'm going to mention him as well because he dedicates almost an entire minute of content at the start of his videos to saying, no one gets to see this video before it's posted. It was sent for review, yada, yada, yada. I understand not wanting to do that. I don't go that far most of the time, because that can really hurt watch time. In a time where watch time, audience retention, attention spans are so critical to your content success, that is shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. But the disclosure does need to be there. Problem 2 comes in the very issue that they showed of the backdrop. And I'm going to drag this image back onto this scene here. This is Gamer Nexus's new office current set. They have their workbench area with all of their new merch in the background, but they also usually keep products that they have either worked on, regularly work on, or use and reference in the background. So obviously the 90s stuff, the older retro stuff doesn't matter. You know, the stuff at the top doesn't matter, but the AMD cards, the Nvidia cards, all of that stuff in the background of their videos is actually a problem, even for copyright. And this is why you see channels that are run by other companies, or TV shows where products may have shown up, like in American Idol. If they have a Pepsi on their desk, there's like tape around the logo. I think to the Digital Rev TV channel, whenever they'd show Coca-Cola, they'd make their own labels for it that said Like-a-Cola. Things like that. There's actually a bit of liability and copyright risk and other forms of, you know, did they sponsor you? Are they advertising on your channel? Risk involved with showing other companies' logos. And so having all of this product in your background, while a cool flex if you're, you know, a major reviewer or you have a workshop or whatever, and it's cool and more relatable, well, I guess it's not really relatable to your audience if they don't have all of that, but, you know, kind of establishes your credibility a bit to the people who aren't suspicious of it. It's also an issue here, because then you are showing this in the background of every video. You are technically playing favorability, even if it's a giant stack of products. You are showcasing it in every video. And that is actually inherently a problem. And this is why channels like Linus Tech Tips have their own full homemade sets, which very rarely contain anyone else's logos or, you know, intellectual property, IP, in the background of the video sets, because they don't want to be liable for that. That is very risky. And so they have homemade, you know, fully customizable made sets that give you a feeling of home, give you something to connect with, but that are not showing those logos. And so those are two ways that creators are actually responsible and part of the problem with this cause of mistrust. But honestly, viewers that are on this conspiracy train need to get over their stuff. If Nvidia was doing it, if Intel was doing it, then AMD would be doing it too. So pretending that they're on this magical high horse is just bull. Just bull, period. If that was the commonly accepted practice by these major corporations, AMD would be right on that train. They are not morally superior to anybody else. And pretending they are is just showing your own inherent bias yourself. And so this is just all stupid. So creators who want to avoid this, make sure you're disclosing stuff in your video, in your description. If something's sponsored, that needs to be disclosed very clearly. Text on screen. YouTube even has a little checkbox that will put a player icon in there saying, hey, this is advertised. And in the description, make sure you say it. Make sure the viewers can see it. Make sure it's there at the start of the content, not after the content. People keep doing that after the content. That is directly against the FTC rules. If you're sent a free product for review, you should probably mention that in your video, and at minimum, disclose it in the description. You should be saying it in the video too, though. This helps build up trust and credibility for people who are reasonable. There are still people who will have seen Jay's 2 cents videos and, you know, where he explains his entire relationship with Nvidia and says, you know, points out why he's not an Nvidia shill, who won't believe a word he says. You can't convince those people. Those people need to just continue being ignored and not given attention that this Reddit post was given. One last point I wanted to bring up is that Nvidia isn't even the one that works most closely with a lot of these creators. Like, you see a big stack of graphics cards back here, and you see how much coverage certain channels have over graphics cards. They're given by the board partners. Most of these come from EVGA and PNY and Asus and Gigabyte and MSI, all these companies that are making the extra cards. Those are where most of the coverage even comes from, not Nvidia. Nvidia's not giving those out. They don't make them. It's just so much going on here. So my voice is going out. I got what I wanted to say. If response is good enough, I will cut this out to its own video, because I really think people need to listen about this topic, but this has gone on a little long. Thank you so much for your support. I will continue to be as transparent as possible and continue to point out whenever people are just being honestly stupid about this stuff. It's to the point where creators need to band together to increase transparency, but to also shut down these things on each other's channels and in the general consensus. Viewers need to step up and call this stuff out and point out why it's wrong and make these people shut the heck up. And news outlets need to not give in to this weird clickbaity, sacrifice your credibility for a couple clicks nonsense and not support it. And if anything, do your research and provide proof as to why it's, you know, not true. That would have been way more helpful. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Streamer Newz. I will add the links to the video description as soon as this ends. Come join us Over on Discord, eposfox.com/Discord, we have community game night tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are playing Counter-Strike Go. We're going to have people streaming in Discord go live. We had like 4 or 5 people last time. We had like 30-something people show up. It was a fantastic time. eposfox.com/Discord. Come join us. It's going to be a blast. Game night, game night, game night, game night, game night. Please. Also go check out IceOrb's Extra Life stream November 1st. Streamerlinks.com/IceOrb. And go check out our sponsor, owned at eposfox.gg/OWN3D. My name is EposFox. I'll see you next time. Hope you have a great weekend.